level 139. Oh, I play this game. Playback is so laggy. So I've recently reinstalled everything. It's just breaking on my end. Literally got a blue screen because I need to update BIOS. That kind of like forced my hands to need to upgrade to 11. But of course I had an old style hard drive, or not hard drive, but hard drives, solid state. So I had to update those because apparently you need to have security boot to install Windows 11. That was cool. Yeah, I'm just getting adjusted to everything. I tried to back some stuff up, but it corrupted when I backed it up, so now I had to reinstall everything. May RNG just be kind to me, if only. I believe. I believe. I just have to move oh. The playback. Capture card. Well, the playback I use laggy. So I'm trying to find the one I was using before. Yes, this is exactly what I'm using. To make sure there's no double lock. Okay. Real fast. Okay. Everything seems good. We're better. We're good. Fine. Alright. Game. How do I play this game? Oh. Where am I going? How's it going, Jimbo? Yeah, I took a break. I don't know if that was obvious. I realized it'd been a month or so since I had streamed last. Yeah, took a little mental health break, and then also had family stuff going on, and then I had to. I was just talking about it earlier, but I had to update to Windows 11 because Windows 10 no longer has support, and I was already running into some issues with still being on Windows 10. I had a random blue screen, which was due to outdated BIOS, which in and of itself was like, I could have just updated the BIOS and just still been on 10, but I decided, well, if I'm going to update the BIOS, I might as well just upgrade to 10. It's not that big a deal. Well, it was a big deal. I had to completely upload. I basically had to wipe my hard drive, or my drive, to swap it over to secure boot, which in and of itself isn't hard. There's Windows has a way to do it through command prompt, which I did use, but the problem is if you have too many partitions or drives, it won't be able to do it proper. So I had to figure out my partition situation. which is funny because I only have I have 2 hard drives, I think, or 2 drives. I have a hard drive and I have an SSD. And it's like, okay, normally that wouldn't be a problem, but for some reason, when I installed my SSD originally in the new computer, it didn't install properly. And so it acted as if I had 3 partitions. Because I guess it does this weird thing where it like splits your one hard drive into like 2 separate partitions. So I had a C drive and an S drive, but it was technically one drive. I was like, okay, interesting. So I had to figure that out. And again, Windows has a thing where it like lets you do all that on your without needing like a third-party program or anything. But again, the C drive, which was the boot drive, technically, which was the same as the S drive, it didn't have enough space to put all of the technically F drive on the C drive. So I basically just had to wipe my stuff. And I bought an external just to like back stuff up, but something happened with the external after I backed up my stuff and it wiped it. So I was like, all right, cool, great, wonderful. Literally spent like an entire day just backing up 2+ terabytes of data just for it to just disappear. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, everything that could have gone wrong pretty much went wrong. Outside of the computer taking a shit itself, everything went bad. But hey, I'm on Windows 11 now, and nothing changed. Nothing has changed. I don't feel the least bit different. The only thing is all of my apps that are all like the applications and programs I used before are now all up to date. So hey, that's cool. Because I had to reinstall them. There you go. I have a bad habit of not. If it doesn't have an auto update, I don't update it. Thankfully, I was able to save the base program files from the old drive and the desktop, which has all of my stream stuff. So that was super cool. At least there's that. That is definitely a drop, yes. I'm definitely playing a Redria. Yeah, I don't even want it. If I kept every rare drop I ever had got, I would not have any bank space. There's so many slicers. But I've found very few jobs so far. That being said, I haven't really been in a place where I do find jobs, so that's probably why. What was it? It was Slicer... No. Disc of Liberator. With 0 hit. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Disc of Liberator. If anything gonna drop in very hard, it's gonna be a Disc of Liberator or a Slicer of Assassin. Almost guaranteed. It's the same thing for like Purple Gnome. Anything in very hard, Purple Gnome's always gonna have like a Vice. Less common, but a Vice. What is the white one? What are the white ones called? I know the numbers. HNS 25 or something like that. Anyway, the same thing with like Purple Gnome. Or it'll be an LK30 or LK. Okay, not 38. 38 first one. I love when they do the when they buff themselves, they just like stop mid-pound. Justice mechanism, that's perfect. Agent 25 Justice. Those are really common on Purple Gnome. And LK14 are the other ones. See if they have any star measures. Nothing. A mind breaker, dude. Yeah, see, we have Slicer of Assassin. 20 hit Disco Braveman, I think, is our highest, right? Yeah. what is the time frame? So it's June right now. The anniversary event for Euphinia usually happens in August, September. And then we have, I think it's usually August, ends mid-September, and then you have October a couple weeks later for Halloween. Euphinia usually starts Halloween a little later, though. So we got about 2-3 months, or 4 months until October. 2 months for the Euphinia's anniversary event, and then 2 months until Halloween. So Redria will probably take a little break during the anniversary event, just because I always try to play an anniversary event. Especially since this next year is going to be different, so kind of excited to see what they do with it. It could be hot garbage. It could be absolute gold. You never know. Just have to find out. From what they kind of mentioned in their last post about it, I'm kind of leaning that I might enjoy what they plan on doing a little bit more. But like I said, we'll just have to see. Ooh, it's perfect. So, a couple games announced lately. We had, I think, a Persona 6 coming out. Kind of cool. I don't have a particular opinion. I've never played a Persona game, but that's cool. We have the Fable game. Kind of looking good. I don't know. I'm not disappointed by it. Interesting that they bring back Jack of Blades, but take away the duality system. Interesting. And then they tease the Sword of Aeons from the original game. Kind of weird. For the Fable game. And then we have, I think, a new Stellar Blade game, or is it DLC, I guess? That's kind of cool. Never played that one either. There's a few other ones that were kind of interesting. The new Monster Hunter DLC is coming, or I guess not new, but the first Monster Hunter DLC. I have not looked at that at all, though. So I have no idea. There's a couple indie games that look kind of interesting. Let's see, what else? There's a TMNT. Oh, the Godzilla fighting game. It's a remake of one of the originals for like a PS1 or something. Or like, that's where it originally was. I've always talked about that game. Like, man, this game is so cool. No, wonder if anybody remembers it. Obviously, somebody remembered it because they're making a new one. I'm kind of surprised it took them this long to make that. Make another one of those Godzilla fighting games. Considering how hype Godzilla is lately. We have the new Japanese Godzilla movie coming out. Yeah. Well, that's why they pushed back Fable 2, or the new Fable game, right? Literally because GTA was coming out. Which I'm like, hey, more dev time, depending on if they actually do that. Which would be kind of silly if they didn't. Oh, the new God of War game coming out. Looks kind of neat. People are all butthurt because Kratos is not in it. I'm like, didn't they tell us like many years ago after this last game that they were going to make a game surrounding his Nordic wife? I'm so mad. Gamers are mad. They're angry people. Not only that, majority of the game pushed their dates back. Oh yeah, nobody wants to be around GTA. The thing is they all had their dates planned. They were all ready to come out, and then GTA or Rockstar Games just was like, GTA 6. You guys remember this game? Yeah, okay, we'll release this in like a month. And so everybody had to like, oh, interesting. Always have been. And I just amplified their voices. That's what my wife says. She always says that. I always complain about stuff, and she's like, "You're so silly. They've always been like this." Like I'll always bring them like, "Why are people so angry?" Like they always have been. The internet has just given a megaphone to certain demographics of people. Gamers in this instance are wild, man. Some of the things I see gamers say. I think the newest term is LARPer, which I find absolutely hilarious. Because back in my day, LARPer just meant fake gamer, dude. Everybody was just categorized as a gamer back then. Now we have different game communities, which isn't a bad thing. It's just funny that they just say LARPer now. You didn't know this obscure term or this obscure fact about this game that you say that you like? I didn't know Montague's first name was Giancarlo. Am I a LARPer for PSO, dude? Damn, unlucky. I'm a PSO LARPer. The World Wide Web. I'm just a boomer in a zoomer world, man. I'm not even that old. I just feel that way. That's just how fast the generations move now. I want this drop, man. I want this final impact. My very last, very hard drop. What? I guess I didn't crit. Dang it. Nice. Nope. Dude, ice is so deadly. I need to test something real fast. Whoops. For some reason, my activity feed didn't actually work. That's okay. What console am I playing on? I'm playing on a Wii, but it is the GameCube version of the game. The only reason I'm playing on Wii is because I don't have a GameCube broadband adapter yet. But I do have my GameCube ready to go once I get that broadband adapter. There it is. They're so expensive. Yeah, they're pretty bad. They've gone down a bit, but they are they're still a bit up there. They've gone down since COVID, that's for sure. 2022 or 2020, 2022, everything retro was just expensive as hell. I actually had to buy my copy of PSO Plus after COVID had happened. For the longest time, I was using the a GameCube emulator on the Wii homebrew with an ISO. But I finally was able to get an actual copy. The only difference is if you use an ISO or an emulator, the load times are just like insanely fast, which is normally fine, but I don't know, I prefer the old disc reading speeds. Yeah, I'm on like I said, I'm on Wii, but it's I'm using the GameCube disc. Yeah, I feel like the Xbox version was a lot more common for some reason. It was the latest release outside of Blueverse. So that's probably why. I feel like the Xbox version was just, for some reason, just had way more copies than the GameCube version. The GameCube PSO, for some reason, I just never saw it. I went to game stores, never saw the GameCube version. Always saw the Xbox version. I don't know what it was. We won our PSO. Everyone. Yeah, I mean, people need to, it's so easy. You got an old Wii laying around, good chance you can probably just play PSO on it. Yeah, Insignia is the big Xbox server right now. Well, the only Xbox server. I say big as in like, it was a really big deal. Um, yeah, Blueburst was based off of the Xbox version. Probably because, like I said, it was the latest version that they had. It was the most recent version of the game. Yeah, they're, I don't remember her hair being so, Fifth Element. He literally just straight up looks like one of the, characters from the Fifth Element. With the blue, straight, banged hair like that. I think it's the one of the flight attendants. Yeah, she looks like the multipass girl. Yeah. What a random ass movie. And it had some really big names in it too. Had Gary Oldman in it randomly. Obviously Bruce Willis. So I know Insignia and the Shithack server actually do have crossplay. Shithack server has crossplay with Blueburst, GameCube, Xbox, and I think Kayak has a Dreamcast server. I don't know how well the crossplay is because I just my brain can't wrap around how a Dreamcast player would play with a GameCube player, but you know, it's probably like they can all join a lobby, like in the main lobby. All right, you have a good evening or rest of your day. I am just getting beaten the heck up. Not a single hit point, dude. Not a single hit point. But yeah, Shithack has Shithack kind of is the console server. They have different lobbies, but it somehow translates moving on one to another as if seen on some video. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's weird. Because Silverant's another GameCube server, but it also has a Dreamcast server, and they share lobbies, but like you can see a Dreamcast player in a GameCube lobby. But the thing is the movements are just way off. So I don't know how Shithack does it. Yeah, this character is completely offline now. The only time I go online is to download the various quality of life patches. I currently do not Have any other characters I'm playing? I do have characters that I play. Currently, I'm sticking with this character for the majority of my time. Hey, thanks, Vera. Also, thanks for the red. My last very hard drop that I need. And I'm exclusively in ultimate normal mode. And then I cry. Because then the real hunt begins. Dude. Gotta turn more left. I have been talking this whole time. Sorry about that. Yeah, my dogs were barking and I forgot to unmute. Yeah, hey, sorry. I was muted. That was cool. First of all, thank you for the follow, ice cream. I appreciate it. Thanks Vera for the raid. I don't know if that came through earlier. But yeah, no, hi. I'm doing a solo self-found run, which is pretty similar to that of what Diablo 2 players will do, where it's known as Iron Man run, where they try to collect. They use one character to try to collect one of every item in Diablo 2, and many other games, but Diablo 2 I think. I'm playing a Redria only character. I'm only playing this character completely offline. So my goal is to use Redria to get every single rare drop that I can. Hopefully I'll get all of them, but there are some pretty absurd drop rates in some of the more higher ultimate zones. But for instance, right now I'm trying to get my final very hard drop. So I've got all of my hard mode unique drop, all the unique hard mode special weapons, and but right now I'm working on getting all the unique rares from very hard, and right now I am trying to get the final impact. It drops from these two robots at the end of this mission here. They are Sinnoh-Spiggles. Has a 1 out of 143 chance to drop, or probability to drop. The problem is not so much the 1 out of 143. That's usually kind of low for a drop rate, so you usually find it quickly. The problem is that the Sinnoh-Spiggles have a roughly 50% chance to drop anything. That's item, a seta, a green box, orange box, anything. So every time I kill a Sinnoh-Spiggle, I have to roll a 50-50 chance to get an item at all. And then I have to roll the 1 out of 143 to see if that drop that does drop is going to be a red box. And I'm also fighting the drop chance for photon drops, which is roughly 1 out of, I think, 200 or 500. So yeah, there I didn't get a drop at all. And I didn't get dropped at all. So that's kind of what makes the final impact a rough hunt, is you literally are fighting the drop anything rate from the Sinnoh-Spiggles, and then you're fighting the 1 out of 143, and then also there is a chance for you to get a photon drop instead of the final effect. And there are many such cases of that happening with any class they're ideal. But yeah, then we thankfully, I believe we have all of our rare enemies dropped except for slimes in episode 1. The problem with doing rare hunting on GameCube is you can do what is known as piping, where you can literally so let's say, for instance, in my case, I need to hunt the Pafoili slime, which is the red slime variant of the Poily slime. Or sorry, no, I need to hunt the Poily slime, which is the red variant of the Poily slime. I don't remember which one. Anyway, the point is there's a red slime. And And so what I do is I find a quest that has, I think it's Addicting Foods, I think, that is the one I run. It has 2 slimes in 1 room. And with slimes, if you don't know, you can actually split slimes 3 separate times until there's a total of 4 slimes. So 1 is the original spawn slime, and then 3 others, which are offspring. And so, if there's 2 of them, then I end up with 8 slimes in a room. And so what piping does is piping basically resets the spawns. It's kind of like shiny hunting for Pokemon. If you know. But it's basically you pipe and you reset the room, and it has a chance for not only the mother slimes, as I call them, but the subsequent slimes that come after you split the slimes to be a rare slime. The only problem with the piping method is it does take a bit of a toll on your disk drive, because your disk drive is every time you pipe up, go to Pioneer 2, you're loading Pioneer 2. Every time you pipe back down into the cave, you're reloading the whole area to the cave. And especially in a mission or a quest where you're reloading the whole quest area, which has NPCs and stuff like that. You're reloading the whole quest pretty much. And so it's just kind of like, it's been known to kill hard drives. Piping has been known to brick your hard drive, make the disk unreadable because the hard drive just moves out. Or not the hard drive, sorry, the disk drive. On GameCube and so that there's always a risk with piping on console, which, funny enough, is the only place that you can pipe. You can't pipe on Bluebird. If you can pipe, I believe in Dreamcast, maybe. I have never done it. And Game, I believe maybe. No, Xbox, because Xbox won't help. So. And the thing with rare monsters too is like, so some rare monsters, or like a majority of rare monsters, their drop rate chance for their unique rare is like usually like 1 out of 2 or 7 out of 8. So they're almost a guaranteed drop. But I've had a friend who was hunting a rare Rappy drop one time, and it was normally a 7 out of 8 drop chance. So not only did he have to spend time finding the Rappy every time, but it took him 7 tries, 7 Rappies, to get the rare drop that he needed or that he wanted, with a 7 out of 8 chance, which is just incredibly unlucky on his part. So, I mean, that's almost a 90%. He failed pretty much a 90% chance to get a 90% chance. 7 times. Crazy. Or technically 6 times, because I didn't go on my 7th try. But that is just astronomically crazy to me. But yeah, this is our, like I said, this is our Redria completion. There are some tough drops that are ahead of us. There's one that is 1 out of 2 million or something like that chance. It's just astronomically insane drop chance. Like, just, I didn't even realize it when I was going through the list originally, because, you know, there's what we call Ubers, which are like the super rare, usually pretty good drops. Like the Cycle one, for instance, has usually a 1 out of like 200,000 chance drop. Well, there are some IDs, particularly Yellow Bows and Redria, who have Cycle 1 drops and, you know, Lavis Cannon drops and What's the other big one? Uh, I, it's just like mine is like one out of. I have to look at it. Hold on, because I cannot fathom the number. So bad. Oh, Heaven Punisher. Yeah. Yeah, so my red card is 1 out of 40,000, which is already insane, and it's from a Grand Sorceress. Yeah, it's a 1. So my Heaven Punisher is a 1 out of 299,594 chance from a seabed enemy, which in and of itself is not common to seabed. My Psycho one drop. My Psycho Wand drop is from a Grand Sorcerer in episode 1 with a 299,594. There are worse ones. I think there's... Yeah, there's one that is... Yeah, I've got the one at a 300,000. Pink has a 1 of 1,000. Skyly, Renal has one. I said 2 million earlier. Yeah, 200. I put a 0 or 2 in front of them. But yeah, they're pretty wild. I have 2, 3, 4 normal modes only prayers that I can find that are like 1 out of 7,000, 1 out of 5,000. And they're normal mode too, so it won't be hard to farm. A little tedious, and it will definitely take some time. Game is basically impossible to complete. Well, I'm kind of impartial about it because it's like just the way that the game runs. Project is you're never guaranteed to drop, right? And the game runs completely off of probability. So when something says like 1 out of 143, for instance, it's not like, oh, I can just kill 143 Sinnoh and eventually I'll get it, right? Well, no, not always, because I've killed well over 143 others. It's more of just like there's a chance for it to drop, and roughly 1 out of 143 chance that you get. Not guaranteed though. Again, it's all probability. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's ever been a complete. There's definitely been more completion hunts than there's quite a few out there currently trying to do their own. But the one, I don't think anybody's ever completed one so far. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone completing their completion. Yeah, we've been on this hunt. Well, we've been on this hunt for a while. The only thing is I've taken quite a few breaks, months on end, for like real life or life being away. But total hours wise, played on the character. I think I haven't posted it. Total hours wise so far is 202 hours. Is the last time I updated it. So by the end of the stream, it should be about 206 hours. I'll play them. That's not too bad. But it definitely will take me quite a while. Let alone just like getting level 200. Quite a bit. I think roughly if you play every day for like 4 or 5 hours a day, I think on average it'll take you about, I'd say about 500. That's kind of roughly where I see myself when I get 200. And that's just default offline race too. Obviously, if you play online, yeah, across multiple different characters, multiple different memory cards, and multiple different consoles or platforms, I have heard roughly, if I had to put a number on it, maybe 9,000 to 10,000 hours, which seems insane. Maybe? Seems like a lot. This is a lowball number considering I have multiple thousand-hour characters. How much is 10,000? That's roughly a little over a year today, across multiple platforms. It's got to be more than that. I mean, I've been playing this game for over 15 years now. 17 years? Oh, I've been playing this game way longer than that. Wait. I've been playing this game for like 23 years. I just, every time I think about how old this game is, can't believe it. Yeah, 10,000 years sounds like nothing. Or 10,000 hours sounds like nothing in terms of years, days. Yeah, I'm a very, even with all the time I put into this game, I'm a very casual hardcore player, if that makes sense. Like, there are people who have played this game for either less time than me or about the same amount of time or more time than me that are just like, they just like play this game like no one else. It's kind of crazy. Actually, ironically, Verilix, for instance, is one of the, I would say, just overall more like knowledgeable with the game. And all the speedrunners are all very well versed in this video game, more than myself. And again, that's mostly because I'm just kind of like very casual of a CS:GO player. I have my moments where I can like turn it on and be like, okay, I'm actually gonna try hard a bit. Nothing. Put together him. Yeah, Verilix. He's a buddy of mine. No, he's been a top speedrunner for many years of PSO games. He is. Yeah, I believe he's the world record. It's been a while since I checked. I do know some ball. Oh, he knows ball. Like I said, I can turn it on and off. Like I could try really hard and do, but like I don't spend the energy to do that all the time. PSO surface level doesn't seem like a very complicated game. Like it seems relatively straightforward. Like for most people, like the most complexity of the game is going to be like maybe like mag feeding and like understanding mags and how they work, or like the triple hit combo mechanic. You have to time your button pushes. But like the game is kind of sneakily in like there's a lot of depth to it. I've definitely been around and played with people who are without being mean, who do not know them. So I was gonna say I've played with some stinkers. Let's just put it that way. Nobody in particular, just like I've definitely played with some stinkers. I hate to say it like that because I don't want to like come off as like unfortunately there is a certain level of PSO players the online aspect of it. That's mostly for the GameCube servers. Everyone seems to GameCube. I originally, when I first started streaming it, I think my first few PSO streams were I can work on my Pinkle Humor. My Pinkle Humor. I don't know why it was Pinkle. But back in the day on the Opinion, you used to be able to change section ID yet. I don't know about Xbox, but I know GameCube has a pretty consistent number of people. If you have Discord, there's, I believe, Shithack Discord. There might even be an Insignia Discord, like a section for Insignia. You would have to look around a bit. I'm not too familiar with GameCube Online. Outside of knowing all the servers, I'm not too familiar with online on console. But I'd imagine it can't be too bad. If it's connected to Shithack, Shithack has a lot of players. Or quite a few players, rather. Shithack is definitely the... Like I was saying earlier, it's definitely the console. Kind of like a mega server at this point. So the chances are that there are Insignia players. Also considering Insignia was a lot more popular than I thought initially. Yeah, it's maybe I don't. Yeah, if you go to go to the page, you can probably find the Discord somewhere in there. Yeah, today I'll probably just be doing this. Um, I wasn't planning on streaming super long today. I have to do some WoW stuff later. So I kind of prep time for that. So I'll probably only do another hour. Normally I'll go for 4 hours though. Lose my next thing just for about hopping with Halo. Love you. Trying to get my my wife to play Halo 2 with me. She refuses. Yeah, for sure. If you have any like questions or anything, I'll try to help as much as I can. I'm not super familiar with the Xbox version, but I do know PSO. I do know Ball. Oh boy, can't wait. Ooh, photon drop today, yeah, we'll take it. Love photon drops. Lots of photon drops. So, one thing that I'm kind of excited for once we get closer to level 160 is when we get to 160, we will be able to start getting... We'll be able to start doing the steps towards getting our parasitic gene flare, which was not something I was planning on adding to the list. But it's something that I realized later that you have to get if you're going to try to get the offline red. The offline... so, the parasitic... the parasitic gene flow and the red ring are both two items that were never dropped on GameCube. Or Dreamcast, or I don't think any version of the game until private servers. But PSO, you'll come to learn, is a very spaghetti-coded game. It is some of the most spaghetti coding of any game I've ever played. So the parasitic gene flow and the red ring are both super in-game items The red ring is a ring that drops from Dark Falls and Ultimate. And it is a ring that gives a bunch of stat increases and also gives like a big accuracy increase, which is like the main draw. I mean, it has really high defense increase. So it's just an all-around good shield. And it is indeed a red ring. The parasitic gene flow, however, is a unique item that you use on certain weapons. It turns it into another weapon. So, for instance, for hunters, you get what is known as the dark flow, which is a really powerful single swing sword. You can only swing one. You can't it's called combo lock. Basically, you can't do the 1, 2, 3. But it's a really powerful sword for hunters. Rangers get a really strong, although less useful spread or shot that shoots, I think, like 6 bullets, and its special shoots like a big straight beam, kind of like how Olaflow shoots his sword or his and then the forces get a staff that redirects TP cost, which is basically mana, to your HP and reduces how much it costs. So it's pretty useful. Definitely not as good as Cycle 1, which essentially does the same thing but better. And Cycle 1 has a raw tech boost that Joey Ricardo is on. So the Parasitic Gene Flow is just a really good item. But normally you were never able to get them to drop on GameCube because instead of having the drop set to whatever they were meant to have a drop rate as, somehow Sega messed up and the drop rate was set to absolute 0. So there was no chance of them ever dropping. So nobody ever found them, but they did know that they existed. I think there was like some people who compiled Kyoto. I don't know how they found out about them. Maybe you could get them online, but you just could never get them off on the official Sega store. But there's many such cases of that with PSO where things are not what they are supposed to be. My favorite spaghetti code for PSO is third boss in episode 1, the Mines boss, is so coded, is such spaghetti code that the way that damage is calculated on it is based solely on how much ATP your character has. And what I mean by that is hold on. Not want to shoot that temperature. But what I mean, okay, so what I mean by Volop being bugged, which is the Mines boss, is all the damage done to Volop is based solely on your character's current ATP stat, which is the attack stat. And the higher ATP you have, just no matter what weapon you're using, you're just going to do more damage. And that extends into forces too. So a popular way to deal with Volop is to get a character that can use Gizon, which is the multi-target Zon spell or lightning spell, and you get a character that has high ATP, and you can literally spam Gizon on the screen, and for some reason each individual targetable screen counts as an extra hitbox for Volop, which is not unique to Volop. That also happens on the Dragon. But if you spam Gizond on the screens, you'll be doing way more damage than you should be doing with a tech. So that's just one way that people will use his buggy mess of a coding to kill Volop. Super silly. I think if you can get strong enough, you can get enough ATP, you can like maybe shoot like I think 12 Gizons and just kill phase 1 of Volop. Speedrunners obviously don't have access to like high ATP and like Gizons and stuff. So what speedrunners will do is they'll take a handgun and they'll shoot each individual screen, starting with the smaller screens at the bottom, to essentially just burn him down. I think it takes like almost all of the screens. I think there's like 6 screens, 5 or 6 screens. It mostly takes like almost all the screens to kill him, depending on which character you use. But it's just like, it's so much faster than how the fight was meant to be fought. Yeah, the game was just super weird, man. No, the max level is not 160, to answer your question. The max level is 200. 160 is just when I can start doing the steps for my question to do. Want to know what it is? I do. No hit. I believe it is meteors? Yeah, it's meteors. Can't use it, don't want to. Already have it. Okay, roll that 50-50. Okay, give me a handful of minutes. I'll be right back. So I'll be back. Take 5 minutes. Right back. 2 minutes. There we go. Had to fix the crackling. Give me a sec to get it back up and running. Oi, where is it? No. Oh, there it goes. Audio's back. Everything's good. No crackling. All right. Nice. Yeah, I came back and it was crackling really loud, and I was like, oh, that's not good. Either say we'll reboot or remake. I gotta. I saw Crazy Taxi trailer. I don't think so. That being said, the Crazy Taxi trailer is kind of. That's not the wrong way to feel about it. Like Crazy Taxi, like that's insane that they are doing a Crazy Taxi remake. As far as PSO goes, they do have New Genesis going, which is I mean, you never know. You never know. I don't want to say no. I don't think they'll ever do a remake. Is it very likely? Also, Crazy Taxi. They have okay. So the AI that they have been doing. So okay, the idea of AI in gaming, and the reason why gamers are so weird about it, they're not properly educated on what generative AI is, and they just think AI bad. AI take work away from artists. Word AI means bad. No, generative AI in and of itself is kind of a good thing for artists. It means we will have like higher quality art from people that is less inspired by other, or okay, loosely inspired by other material. And so the thing why when people get all up about AI, it's when they say like, oh, this company is using generative AI bad. Generative AI is not bad. Generative AI basically streamlines the process in which typically artists create art or create assets for a video game. Generative AI basically just means they use Chat GPT almost. But not that's just a very vague meaning of it. It's basically just like they say, hey, give me some ideas, and they type in like a prompt of like a strong character, and then it's like that gives them ideas. They don't use that character. But the thing is they don't use that character. They don't use just the prompt that they come up with most often. And if they do, that's not using generative AI as a inspirational tool. Because most companies will say we use it as an inspirational tool for our artists. The generative AI thing is, yes, it can be bad and it can be used for bad. But, you know, we've been using generative AI stuff for many other things outside of just like video games and stuff. Like if used properly, it can be a good thing, I should say. Obviously, there are ways to abuse AI, because like people like say is like, oh, they're using it to replace artists and they're using it to, like, yeah, that's obviously very bad. You know, the bad, they're taking jobs away. And then it's like, also, it's like, they're using generative AI, or they're using generative AI to make a character. Like, I could see like stuff like Power World, for instance, where they basically said they don't use generative AI. But I could see a video game like Power World using generative AI to create their character. I don't inherently think generative AI is a bad thing if used properly and not used in a sort of like malicious way. Where it's like, yeah, we're just gonna be lazy, type up a prompt, and just use this. Because we've seen that. I mean, if you're anywhere online on YouTube and stuff, people have made like videos of their, this is my game that I made using Chat GPT or whatever the big generative AI reuse free programming, whatever it is. Like, there's videos where people like, and it looks absolutely horrible. Like, people are like, oh yeah, this looks so cool. And it's like, no, it looks terrible. Awful. Like, yeah, but isn't it like, wasn't there like something about like the environmental and damage stuff has been blown way out of proportion? Like, I think the issue is there's a lot of bad AI uses of AI that are going around that has soured everybody's taste of it. And I agree. I mean, I think, you know, bad faith AI uh uh facilities and creators and stuff, that I think is genuinely like, yeah, there's some bad apples out there. I don't think AI as a whole is necessarily bad. It can be used as an inspirational tool instead of a way to make people lazier and all this other stuff. Like, there's been many things in human technology that has been like, it started as something like real groundbreaking and unique, and but then people use it in a way that it necessarily was not intended to be used, right? And I think the AI is just one of those things right now where it's like, there's not enough research into AI that is good research, and I feel like there's just not enough like positive. And I think there's a lot of information that's just kind of not necessarily accurate. And that kind of goes back to the whole internet thing of things. People can more easily spread is either accurate or misleading to either aid or harm a company. Like I said, I think there's a lot of bad faith actors in AI as a whole. I think there's a lot of people who intentionally will just like naysay it and say it's like the end of days and the robots are taking over and silly stuff like that. And I think that there are companies that will use AI, not necessarily for evil, but not in a useful, productive way. And I do genuinely think generative AI is a step in the right direction. Again, like I said, if used as an inspirational tool and not as a replacement of an artist, which is just like typing up a prompt saying, make this character XYZ, and it comes out. It's like, okay, then just put it in the game. I haven't seen a case of a AAA company that has like admitted to using generative AI, actively just put a character in that is just very obviously an AI created. Now, maybe like assets and stuff, like maybe like a building or something, maybe and then it was like touched up and stuff. I could see that, but like as like a whole, I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those AI is one of those topics where it's just like you're either for it or you're against it. I'm kind of like I said, I'm kind of like on the edge of being more for it if used in a more productive way than against it. There's a lot of research that still needs to go on about AI. There's a lot of fine tuning that AI needs to go through as well. I think AI should never get to the point where it can completely mimic a human being or completely replace or take work or replace work from somebody. I think that it can and it has the potential to be replaced. Now that being said, if when AI is used to take work from people, and like we've seen this big artists who have had their work stolen because they have their AI on, and the way that AI usually works, I mean, it's generative, is it will literally scour in the entire internet or a big portion of the internet. It's basically the way a search engine works. It basically just like collects all the stuff that you was given in the prompt, and it looks for similar things, and it compares them, and it kind of creates and makes its own thing out of other people's stuff. Or sometimes, in some cases, it'll just completely rip from the work, which I mean, it has happened. That's why I say that we need more. That's why I say we need more regulation in AI for one. We need more research done into it, how it affects, like you said, like global stuff like that, the global environment, just overall stuff like that. And then also how to better use it, how it could be better used. I think we're still many years off from AI being at all protected. Also, you have to think of like all the different kind of like aspects of AI too, where it's like initially, I think it was I can't remember which AI it was or which generative AI program it was. But there was one that literally had people in India, like hundreds of thousands of employees, who would sit there and scour the internet for videos, photos, this, that, and they were basically training an AI to recognize these photos as either safe or not safe, or training it, show this photo or don't show this photo or image or whatever. That was like a big thing. And obviously that was a really big issue because they were using human beings with not, mechanical brains to root through thousands and thousands of millions even of photos and videos online. And some were, really bad. But they were basically training a program. And then you have all the programmers in AI who teach the AI about biases and whatnot, and how to better fine tune the program to where it's not going to, well, in term to be less skittish or to be less biased towards something. Yeah, as Cup of Joe pointed out, AI games are already in hot water, or AAA games, I mean, are already in hot water. Big studio games. The only AI I use in my everyday life is my Alexa app. That's the only AI I personally use. And even then, that still gets things wrong. I tried to ask Alexa the weather today, which I do every day. I'm like, hey, Alexa, what's the temperature by time today? Because I wanted to know, you know, what time it was going to get hot. He told me the time, and he's like, oh, I can't tell you the weather. I'm like, huh? I'm like, Alexa, why can't you tell me the weather? And he tried to like set up my like patient and everything. I'm like, no, dude, you shut up. You literally tell me the weather every day. What do you mean? I'm glad these guys shoot fireballs and not shoot on. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Joe. Appreciate you. Yeah, hopefully I'll get back on a regular schedule soon. We shall see. few more runs. And I spent all weekend doing a little late spring cleaning. Oh, good. So I'm a little sore today from moving a bunch of stuff. Oh, come on, dude. My 50-50 rolls have not been good today. I've gotten less drops than in general. Go another top 30. Hopefully we get that. Checking my emails. Had a interesting Twitch account. No idea what it's about. Something about a Modiverse. Twitch is always doing some new stuff. There's so much new stuff with like Twitch sometimes. Like they started doing stream anniversaries, which are cool. And then they start doing mod anniversaries. And I'm like, wait, why am I getting a mod anniversary if it's my channel? it, I mean, just wouldn't that just be my stream anniversary? So funny. Unless there was just like no, unless like you're, I guess that could make sense. I don't remember exactly, but it could have been a case where it was like you didn't actually have mod when you were the streamer before, and then they changed that sometime after. It kind of. So that could be it. I was just like, why am I getting a mod anniversary email from my channel? I wonder if my other mods got a mod anniversary. Let's see. I think it was like somewhere close to like 190 months or something, or it was 160. I don't remember. I don't think it told me right in the. I just read the header of the email, or like when it pops up on your phone, it was like a little bit of the email. Zero. It's like I'm playing heads and tails with these guys. Tails, I get nothing. Heads, I get a drop. And then when the coin ends up on the side, that's when I get my final impact. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm waiting for that coin to land on its side. Going, Mantis. Thank you, Antis. Okay, we'll do about 4 more runs for the day. I'm sore, tired, and I have WoW rage. I gotta prep and Thank you, Lantis. I appreciate it. Hope you are having a wonderful day today. Nice, chill Monday. That doesn't sound right at all. Day was alright, thanks. I've been alright. I mean, I spent all weekend, doing some spring cleaning, some late spring cleaning, so it was I'm sore. I had a few broken down chairs that it sounds silly, but I had a few broken down chairs that I was kind of using to, Frankenstein, like, my new chair together, or, like, if a part would, like, break or on it, I would just use one of the old chairs or whatever. But I pretty much got all the usefulness out of those broken down chairs. Um, I used to have a really bad habit of, like, leaning back in my chairs, where I would, like it would, like, break the chair. So I was like, "Okay, I gotta stop. I gotta get a chair that, like, reclines or something if I'm gonna be leaning back like that." So or at least one that's structurally built better. So but yeah, I moved a lot of those. There was one chair, it was an older office chair that I had had for a while. Man, that thing was so freaking heavy. I'm like, "Why is this chair so heavy?" It was just like a regular old normal office chair. It was blue, and it was one of those ones where you could, like, raise the back up and down or whatever. I was like, "Why is this thing so heavy?" It was probably, like, from the 90s or something, and it was just a big old chunk of metal. Like, man. But, I threw that out and a bunch of other stuff just around the house. I had an old desktop computer that is basically just wires and a broken old motherboard. Threw that out. That straightened up and, all that, but it was really hot over the weekend, so I was fighting the heat. Oh, then I had to give my dogs baths, and our new puppy does not like that. I learned that firsthand yesterday. She was literally fighting me with all her will. And she's not a small puppy. She's, probably like 40 pounds already. 35 to 40 pounds already. So she's a big pup. She's just a bigger dog. And yeah, she was fighting me. I felt like I was like trying to force a full-grown man to take a bath. It was so hard to keep her in the bath. So I found. Turns out that the dogs have fleas, the cats too, probably. And then, actually, kind of found out from, I think, Facebook or something, or one of the local groups, that that's not uncommon around here lately. There's been a lot of people who have been reporting a flea outbreak and lots of flies in our area. I feel a little better knowing that it's like, well, shit, how did my dogs get fleas? I don't take them to dog parks or anything, and I don't, there's not a lot of dogs around us. I always feel bad when my dogs have fleas, because it's like, they can't help it. they don't know any better. I feel like they feel like they're doing something wrong. They're like, why am I being punished? So sad. Alright, we'll do 2 more runs. But yeah, my weekend was interesting. I'm just sore mostly. My legs are sore, my back is sore. I also have my bed, which is like one of those memory foams. I think what happened is, I think the bed, I don't know how common it is with these memory foams, but they really do just like start to sink in where you normally sleep. I think that's what happened. I think that sank in a little too much, so to speak. Because this was a free bed we got from a donation. And what it was a floor model for like Costco, I think. And I think they just decided to get rid of it, and instead of like throwing it away, they gave it to one of the local donation centers, and the donation center called us and was like, "Hey, you guys signed up for a bed a few months ago. We finally got one in. You guys want it?" We're like, "Hell yeah." So I got a new bed, and I think it was just like actually, no, I don't think it was a floor model. I think it was one that they returned, and I guess Costco doesn't do like, they'll accept the return, but they don't put it back in their product, which is kind of, like, obvious, I think. I wouldn't expect them to, but, the donation place, like, cleaned it up real well, made sure there was no, like, buggies on it. It smelled fresh and clean when we got it. It still had the little tag on it. But anyway, yeah, it just was been bugging me a little bit, I realized. So on top of that, my back is sore from moving all this stuff and everything. My leg. But yeah, new week, new me. I'm gonna try to stream better. I just needed a month, man. Like I was having I needed a little bit of a mental break, and then, or like a mental health break, and then I needed time with my family. I say this every time after I come back from break. I want to get on a schedule. The want is there. It's just if life will let me. Just when I think I get into a place where it's like, oh, cool, I have more time to myself lately, and I can just stream for like 4 hours a day. And it starts getting out of whack again. All right, this will be our last one for now. Hopefully we get our final inside. I kind of just last second was like, yeah, I should probably scream. I was like, well, because I was waiting for a repair guy to come and look at some of the stuff in the apartment, but he never ended up coming. And so I was like, he's like, okay, I'll be there at 10. So we sat, we waited, never came. In fact, he went to another apartment or 2 other apartments and then left. He was supposed to come to like all the apartments to like just like see like if there's any damages or if there's anything sick. You know, he was sent by the owner of the apartment. And yeah, he went to 2 apartments out of 8 and was like, okay, we're out of here. Never. So I waited for like at least 2 or 3 hours this morning, just getting ready for the guy to come. All right, cool, dude. Awesome. So, and I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I really hate waiting on. I hate like somebody saying, "Okay, we'll be there." It's usually like internet company or like cable provider or whatever. They're like, "Okay, we'll be there." Oh, it's really bad for some of them because one of them will be like, "We'll be there anywhere from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m." And I was like, "Awesome, that's great, that's wonderful, thank you." So now I'm gonna be sitting around all day wondering if we're actually gonna show up. And most times they just like either show up late, or they don't show up at all and they send you a thing like, "Oops, sorry, we weren't able to make it to you today. Try tomorrow." And I'm like, great, this is awesome. But yeah, I was sitting there waiting for the guy, and I just wanted for the day. Anyway, let's see if there's any in the PSOs. I am the only PSO. I am the PSOs. Even is on Bluebird. Kaiki is on the Bluebirds? What the heck? That's kind of cool. There's a VTuber lady who's on Bluebird. Kaiki is currently eating candy. Alright, I'm gonna try to raid this person. Alright. I know nothing about this person, but they're playing PSO, so yeah, and they got a kind of cute YouTube model. Yep. Alright, but make sure and let them know. Encourage them. They seem to be a little babby pony. Anyway, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I will see you guys another time. Everyone has a good day. All right, see you.